Hello, good morning, and welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denise Yapomaije, and our very first story. Government is set to upgrade 12 existing municipalities into metropolitan assemblies and one district into a metropolis as part of efforts to strengthen decentralization and improve service delivery. The recommendations are detailed in a report officially submitted to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs by a committee tasked with reviewing the status of metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies.
To upgrade 12 municipal metropolitan assemblies and elevate one district to metropolitan status as part of efforts to strengthen decentralization and improve service delivery. The recommendation is contained in a report submitted to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs by a committee tasked to review the status of metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. Chairman of the committee, Johnson Esiedunketia, says the move is aimed at improving local governance and responding to rapid urban growth.
The committee found it necessary to recommend for upgrading 12 existing municipalities into Metro Street to be upgraded straight to a metropolis because of very compelling reasons.
We apologize for that poor quality of sound. We'll rework that story and bring that back to you in our subsequent bulletins. But moving on, the Vice-Dean of the School of Creative Arts at the University of Education, Winneba, Professor Osuenyi Kweku Esel, has called for stronger collaboration between school authorities, parents and stakeholders to tackle rising indiscipline and violence in senior high schools. His comments follow clashes between students of Swedro School of Business and Obretre Senior High Technical School at a recent zonal athletics competition. Now, he urged the Ghana Education Service to involve parents in disciplinary processes and also adopt long-term preventive measures.
Ghana's educational landscape has once again come under serious scrutiny following a violent incident recorded at the just-ended zonal senior high school athletics competition in the Central Region. In a statement released condemning the violence, the Central Regional Education Directorate disclosed that the Ghana Police Service has launched thorough investigations into the incident, assuring severe sanctions against students found culpable. Commending the swift response by authorities, the Vice-Dean of the School of Creative Arts at the University of Education, Winneba, Professor Osuenyi Kweku Esel, described the incident as a stain on the country's educational system and called for critical efforts to address indiscipline in Ghanaian senior high schools.
The recent viral video evidence splattered on social media on two students from Obrachre Senior High Technical Schools being stoned by their colleague from Swedro School of Business, drawing an inter-school sports competition is a stain on the conscience of our educational system and a wake-up call that we need to take a second look at, managing indiscipline in Ghanaian senior high school. And I must add my voice to the national condemnation of this unfortunate and barbaric act.
He further recommended stronger collaboration between school authorities, parents, and other stakeholders to promote responsible behavior among students in senior high schools.
The GS must enter a formal protocol, in my humble opinion, with the Attorney General's office to ensure that juvenile offenders in school violence cases face the expedited proceedings, because this is an ascendance. In Ghana, the fear of the law still works, but only when the law is seen to work. I might also say that the regional director rightly mentioned criminal proceedings. And that notwithstanding, we must ensure that the sanctions are swift, fair, and exemplary. The students involved in this criminality, in this criminal act, in the stoning incident, must face the full legal consequences as a sign that the era of shielding students from the law is over.
From Winneba, Abigail Lissol and Chroma reports for Joy News.
On education, GTech Council Chairman Professor Mahama Duwijua has expressed concern over declining education standards in the Sisala Enclave and other rural areas. He noted that no BC candidates in Sisala East and Sisala West obtained a distinction, with over 70% scoring aggregates 36 and above. Speaking at Tumu College of Education's 40th anniversary, he called for collective action to address the systemic rural education challenges.
The AIF congregation of the Tumu College of Education coincided with the 40th anniversary celebration of the college. It was held on the theme 40 years of quality teacher education, reflecting on our achievements, inspiring new direction in education. Council Chairman of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTech, Professor Mahama Duwijua, was commending the college for churning out sea of teachers to every part of the country, particularly in the rural areas. However, urged them to ponder over and find solutions to the falling standards of education in the Sisala East Municipality and Sisala West District.
Aggregate 7 to 10, no student. This is for Sisala East. 11 to 15, only one student got that. This is infinitesimal. That is 0.008%. Now, when you go further down, 89% of the students got aggregate 36 and above. You can imagine, where do you go with such grades? Now, for Sisala West, it's a similar story. Aggregate 6, nobody. Aggregate 7 to 10, nobody. 11 to 15, nobody. Then we go down, and 36 and above, 72% of the students. Again, what a story.
The Tumu College of Education had a humble beginning with a student population of 40 and 6 teaching staff in 1985. Most of its infrastructure were ceded to them by the then Tumu Middle Boarding, and other building projects were added later to improve teaching and learning in teacher education. Professor Peter stated that despite the contribution of the college to the socio-economic development of the country and the world at large, it has been bedeviled with several challenges which is impeding smooth, conducive learning, calling on the government and other benevolent organizations to come to their aid.
They include inadequate lecture halls, poor ICT infrastructure, inadequate staff and student accommodation and offices, and inadequate funding. The current administration block of the college is that which was bequeathed to us and does not befit the current status of the college. These challenges are further exacerbated by governance-related bottlenecks.
A total of 407 graduates, comprising of 211 males and 196 females, were conferred. 8 of the 407 graduates received first-class honors, while 209 and 149 attained second-class upper and second-class lower honors, respectively. For the second year running, the best graduating student was a female, and it went to Edna Adribe, who then served as the valedictorian. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Tumu.
Now, Accident Victims Support Foundation calls on churches across the country to use their pulpits as platforms to educate congregants on road safety measures, insisting that protecting lives on the road is a message worthy of preaching. The appeal comes amid rising road crashes, with authorities recording an estimated number of accidents in the first quarter of 2026 alone. Na Moko has more in the following report.
President of the Accident Victim Support Foundation, Reverend Cyril Benedict Crabbe, is urging religious leaders to make road safety education part of their sermons. He says the church, due to its influence and large following, can play a consistent and critical role in shaping attitudes and behavior on the road.
The pulpit itself is a salvation platform. And so anything that saves life must be discussed on the pulpit, and that is my view. Road crashes or road safety activities is also pulpit worthy, And so pastors, whole congregation comes from all walks of life. And when I tell you the number of accidents that goes on at Vineyard, it's scary. Pulpit will have to reiterate every now and then, consistently preach about road safety, a thing or two.
Reverend Crabb explained that road safety is not only a civic responsibility, but a life-saving message that deserves attention from the pulpit. He noted that teaching responsible driving, obedience to traffic regulations, and respect for human life can help reduce the growing number of road crashes in the country.
What are those things? Put on your seatbelt, check your speed. Once you are going back, cross at the designated place which has been demarcated for you to cross. Watch your zebra crossing, watch the traffic light. When these things within 5 minutes are re-echoed in the minds of the congregation, it goes a long way to save their lives. It prompts them of the dangers and risks on our roads.
He further advised passengers not to remain silent when drivers behave recklessly, stressing that speaking up could prevent avoidable deaths. Passengers, he said, must caution drivers who overspeed or ignore traffic rules, because safety on the road is a shared responsibility, not only the driver's duty.
And then also, passengers who do not have cars, when they board the cars, passenger vehicles or taxi drivers, and they are being driven riskily or dangerously, in this case, we are empowering them from the pulpit. We are telling them that they should speak up. They should not close their mouth. This is pulpit worthy. Road safety is pulpit worthy. And so the pulpit must take it up.
The call was made at the 2026 Heads of Churches and Organizations Conference at the Pentecost Convention Center. Morko's report, read to you.
Market. Now, President John Mahama has cautioned that the recent macroeconomic stability must not be mistaken for structural economic transformation. He also warned that Ghana risks stagnation unless deeper industrial reforms are pursued. Speaking at the presidential dialogue with the private sector, President John Dramani Mahama acknowledged signs of recovery following a period of severe economic turbulence.
Ghana's economy has emerged from a period of severe turbulence. We are beginning to see positive signals: relative stabilization of the currency, improved investor sentiment, strengthened business confidence, new private capital investments in manufacturing and processing. These outcomes reflect deliberate fiscal consolidation, value-added tax rationalization, removal of distortionary levies, and a determined effort to restore macroeconomic credibility. But let me be clear, stabilization is not equal to transformation. For over 5 decades, Ghana's manufacturing sector has contributed around 10% to GDP. Meanwhile, emerging Asian economies, starting from a similar basis, have achieved manufacturing share of 20% to 30% of GDP, and thereby creating mass employment and export competitiveness. And so we need to change our trajectory. I've therefore set a national target. Manufacturing must contribute at least 15% of GDP by the year 2030.
Also, total foreign currency deposits for last year witnessed some significant decline over that of 2024. This is based on new data that we have picked up from the Bank of Ghana.
For some, it appears the city's strong performance last year did some positive impact on several sectors of the economy, as well as banking and financial sectors. For instance, growth in foreign currency deposits in 2024 stood at more than 20%. However, in 2025, it actually declined by more than 14%. Some industry persons also believe that several monetary measures introduced by the Bank of Ghana that made it more expensive for commercial banks to keep foreign currencies also contributed to this development. Others also believe that the development showed that most of these deposits were not backed by real business demand, but rather persons were trying to use it to hedge against inflation.
Let's now get some updates on the commodities market. Well, that's it for Business and AM News. But before we go, have you completed WASI 2025 or one or two subjects failed you? Never mind. Just enroll at St. Andrews Senior High School, the best private senior high school in Ghana at the moment, with excellent boarding facilities, excellent results in the 2025 WASI. We have locations in Asimfosu, Mankesim, New Edubiase, Dunkwa Onofing, Shama, and Seshi, Asarenso. We do all senior high school courses. Please call us now on 0244 696911 or 020 789 1004. Also, every day someone in Ghana is diagnosed with leukemia and asked to travel abroad for treatment. This must stop. Join Build Ghana's first Center of Hematology and Clinical Genetics. Donates to the Leukemia Project Foundation, Stanbic Bank, Silver Star Airport City. CD account is 9040 0043 56815. The dollar account is 9040 0042 99889. Or EcoBank, Silver Star Airport, with the CD account 1441 0001 44545, and the dollar account is 3441 0001 44544. MTN Momo number is 054 501 3437, and the Telecel cash number is also 020 069 5209. This initiative is by the Joy News Impact Makers Foundation in partnership with the Leukemia Project Foundation. Well, that's it for AM News. My name is Denise Yapomaeje. For more news, I beg your pardon, please do log on to myjailonline.com. Enjoy the rest of the show. Have a wonderful day.